Welcome to the Unstuck podcast. I'm your host, Shawn Mynar. This weekly no-fluff mindset show arms you with the practical tools you need to get unstuck so you can get exactly what you want out of life. Remember, when you change your mind, your life will follow. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Unstuck podcast. Thank you all so much for being here as always. I'm Shawn, your host on each and every episode of Unstuck. Grateful to be here, grateful to have you out there listening. Today's episode, I don't know, might ruffle some feathers a little bit, but also I really hope gives you a new perspective to start thinking about things that are going on in your life that may not be going the way you want and how you are approaching that. So we're going to get into that today. Just a few quick things. Really, I want to talk to the entrepreneurs out there for a second because I have scheduled all of the new stuff for the new class coming up in January, and I want to let you know so you can put it on your calendar now, which sounds early to be talking about this already since it's going to be, not till after the holidays and everything, but it is the holidays. And no matter what, even though I think the holidays are looking a lot different for a lot of us this year, it still goes by fast. Like these next couple weeks just go by fast. We're not thinking about things in the same way. We're not necessarily in work mode or entrepreneurship mode or whatever it might be. So I want to make sure that you all know, and you can get it on your calendar now before the holidays fully get into the swing of things. So first thing you want to know is that if you are interested in Unstuck Entrepreneur, the January 2021 class, if you know that 2021 is your year to get your business thriving and expanding and growing and the way that you want it to be without adding in more hours of work, adding in more stress and struggle and overwhelm and sitting at the computer wondering what the heck you're supposed to do. If that's you, I have the solution. It is the Unstuck Entrepreneur group mentorship program, and the doors open officially January 4th. 2021. Now, if you are on the VIP waitlist, which you can do by going to unstuck.shawnmynar.com, if that is you, you will get early access starting January 1st to claim your spot. Seats are limited, of course, and a little special coupon code as well, only for those that are on that list. And if you check your email January 1st, if you don't, the time will pass and the doors will open to the public and you may not get your seat. So if you definitely want to get in, if you definitely want a coupon code that won't be shown to anybody else, get on that wait list, unstuck.shawnmynar.com before January 1st, 2021. That is New Year's Day, in case you didn't know. Also, I will be hosting, and this is really a good place to start for someone if you're not sure if, Unstuck Entrepreneur is right for you, if I'm right for you, if you need a mentorship program, if you even want to be in business. But if you are someone who is a wellness professional and may want to consider going into business, or if you are ready to start your business in 2021, or if you already have a business and are really ready to take it to the next level, I have a free workshop coming up Monday, January 4th at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You can do the math on where you live. Really try to be there live if you can. It's just like so much fun. The energy is so great. We have such a good time. It'll be 90 minutes. There's so much information I'm going to cover. I'm really considering this like a free 90-minute coaching session. So if you want that, get on that list. You can go to shawnmynar.com/money workshop. Money workshop. shawnmynar.com/money workshop. We'll have all of this linked in the show notes, but get on the list for that. You will get notified of the link to join. You'll be able to put it on your calendar so you don't miss it. And if you can't make it for whatever reason, you will get a replay as well. But really, really do what you can. Block out your schedule now to get there and be there live. So much fun. And I'll have plenty of time for your questions and everything like that. So that's a really good place to start if you're not sure what you want to do, how you see your business expanding, how you see it building, and it will really help you get that vision for what you can do in 2021. All right, I think that covers it for now. Let's get into today's episode. Oh, I guess one last thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say Unstuck Entrepreneur, first of all, definitely come to that live workshop, but also you can find out more about the program. It's a mentorship opportunity with me as your mentor, someone with 8+ years of experience as a wellness entrepreneur in that field, and also a group community program, also an online course. Like, we just do it all. It's just like this whole experience for your business. So you can go check that out at shawnmynar.com/unstuckbiz, B-I-Z. All right, now let's get into it. I really, really knew I wanted to cover this topic ASAP as soon as it was something that I learned in my NLP certification course, neuro-linguistic programming course. So this was something that we talked about a few weeks ago, and it just really impacted me, not only in my own life, but in all of yours. Just something I knew that you all would want to know about as well. And how do I know that? Well, if I think back to everything I've done in my entire career, I guess starting as a personal trainer, then moving on to being a nutritionist and being in the holistic health space, and then moving on to becoming a mentorship for those who are getting started in that wellness space. When I think back to all of the people I've talked to and helped and emailed and chatted with, there's a lot of excuses. We are built as humans to have excuses. I mean, I wouldn't say built like physiologically, but in our society today, in how we view things, in what we've learned, in the beliefs that we have stored as we have grown into the beings that we are, a lot of us have this tendency to have excuses. And I'm no different. I can make up excuses all day long, for sure. I would say I have gotten 1,000% better since I have started doing my own self-improvement, personal growth, mindset work, starting, 4 or 5 years ago. I now can pick it out very clearly when I'm making up an excuse based on a limiting belief. But I want to make sure that you can do that too. And I want you to know what really happens for you personally when you do take back that control, when you do see your excuses for what they are and you stop doing it. You stop making excuses for yourself. So, as I said, this is a topic that came up in my NLP certification course. I think it is so profound, so impactful. It's so simple, yet so critical to all of us getting unstuck in any area of our lives, in all areas of our lives. It's a conversation about being at cause versus being in effect for everything in your life. May not make sense now. That's why there's a whole podcast episode to talk about it. So let's get into it. We're going to start, of course, with a quote. This is from Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your own estimation of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. One more time for those in the back. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your own estimation of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Now, we're going to get into this. Before we do, I want to let you know that if you find any of this that does kind of ruffle your feathers, it does make you kind of mad at me for saying some of this stuff, then really get in touch and see who's running the show for you. Are you letting your ego run the show? Are you coming from this place of negative headspace, of wanting to defend yourself? Just really get in touch and see where your thoughts are coming from. Because if you're in that space, then what you might think I'm saying, or how you might take this, is I'm telling you that you need to blame yourself, that you're at fault for everything. And that's not what's happening here. And of course, the longer you go seeing it that way, the longer you're going to stay stuck, as is the case with everything we talk about here. So please keep that in mind as we go further. I will say it once again. I am not saying here that you are at fault, that everything is your fault, that you should be blaming yourself. That is not what I'm saying. Okay, let's get that out of the way right here, right now. So the title of this episode is What's Your Excuse? And let me just come right out with the punchline right here at the beginning, because it's going to make a lot more sense as we move forward. If you're living your life from a place of effect, let me make sure that I'm getting that very enunciated so you know which word I'm using. From a place of effect, you'll know because you have an excuse. In other words, if you have an excuse for something, it means that you are letting the external environment control what's going on with you instead of you controlling what's going on with you. So you're looking externally instead of internally. And that is what we call living from a place of effect. Now, I think y'all know some excuses you may hear other people say, you may have heard yourself say, and they might be very prominent for you, and they might be so ingrained in you, you don't even know that that is actually an excuse. I mean, sometimes when I get emails from people, I just count the number of excuses they've used in one paragraph or one, email. Or if I'm talking to someone, I just tally up all the excuses because we're full of them. All of us. We're full of them. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, except that we are externally looking outside of ourselves instead of going inward. And when we can go inward is when we can get unstuck. So things like, I don't have enough willpower. It's not a good time right now. I'll just wait until after the turn of the year. I don't have enough followers for those in the business space. Money is tight. I can't invest in myself, or I can't do that, or we can't go there. I don't have good time management. I'm very scatterbrained. I don't know how to do that. I'm not good at doing that. It's all just too complicated. Excuses, right? Now, I think really, if we look at it, at least from what I have seen in working with so many women, time, money, knowledge, and ability. Those are probably the biggest categories, the biggest 4 categories of the excuses that people will give. They don't have the time, or time isn't on their side for whatever reason. They don't have the money. They don't know how, so they don't have the knowledge, or they can't do it for a bazillion reasons. They don't have the ability to do it. Some of the biggest ones. No matter, and this is going back to when I was a personal trainer and hearing all of the reasons, in air quotes, which are really excuses, as to why someone can't work out regularly. Someone can't commit to their sessions with me. And moving all the way into being a nutritionist, and why someone can't take their supplements every day or do the hormone test or whatever. all the things, meditate, rest, relax, sleep, all the things that I have tried to get people to do a little bit more of. And then moving into business and hearing all the reasons why someone can't invest in their business or themselves, why someone can't find the time to grow their business, why someone can't, doesn't know how to do it or won't do it for themselves. It's pretty universal. It's so universal, these 4 big pillars of the excuses people give. So when you have an excuse, you are putting the cause outside of yourself. So for whatever is happening, whatever's not going well in your life, that cause is not you, it's something outside of you. Now, what if you shifted your perception, your perspective, so that you are at cause for everything in your life? If you are at cause, and again, I'm not saying you're at fault, if you are at cause, the excuses fall away. Literally, excuses stop existing when you become at cause. So this in NLP is known as the formula for success and empowerment. 2 words that I freaking love. Who doesn't want that? So we follow this formula for success and empowerment, which is that cause is greater than effect, and that empowerment equals moving from that place of effect back into cause. And when you do so, you operate from a place of excellence. So in the actual NLP book, it's a big C, a greater than symbol, and a big E. That is the formula. So greater than. So we want to do what we can to take ourselves out of effect. And then in the book too, there's a kind of swooping arrow that takes you out of effect and back over to the C. So from E to C. That is the formula. So let's break it down a little further. When you can come from a place of being at cause for everything in your life, especially the things that aren't going your way, when you do that, you have the ability to learn, grow, and change. That then becomes a learning experience, and it becomes the opportunity to grow instead of staying stuck. You find empowerment from that opportunity, which means you then are the one who has the power. You take your power back when you become at cause. So what that says then is that being at cause makes you powerful. It can become your superpower because it gives you this opportunity to grow and evolve and learn. And that is really, really cool. Now, when you are living in effect, you see everything that isn't going your way or the way that you want as something out of your control. Something outside of you is the reason why that is the case. And that means you remain powerless. You give up your power to the external, which means you can't learn anything from it. So you don't grow, you don't change, you don't morph into that person that you want to become. So you are completely letting go of your power. This is so huge, my friends. If you apply this to your life, this will change your perspective for everything, forever. And you will then go directly into the driver's seat of your life. So how do we do this? So simple. So simple. It's just, again, with everything that we talk about here on Unstuck, a matter of taking one click more time to think before we get into our automatic mode. One click more of awareness to really bring it back into yourself. And we do that by asking one simple question, which is, how am I at cause here? How am I at cause here? So if there is a result you don't like, you didn't want, things aren't going as expected, instead of looking to the external for why it didn't go the way you were hoping, go inside and get curious of how you may have been at cause. We're going to do some examples because I think that's going to help. First, some things. A reminder. Again, not blaming yourself. It's not like, what did I do wrong here? Or how am I to blame here? It's not those questions. How am I at cause here? That's different. So make sure you are asking the right question of yourself. Because the last thing that we want to do is, and this is when things start going awry and we're not in the right headspace to do this work, is when you start blaming yourself and thinking that it's your fault and you get down on yourself. And instead of you taking back your power, you still remain powerless because you are coming down on yourself. Now, if you're at cause, remember, it means you can learn and grow. So really keep that in mind. Make sure you're asking the right question. Make sure you are coming to this with a very open heart, a very open mind, being willing to see what opportunities lie in that situation to where you have that ability to grow. And then one caveat, I think this is really important to say, especially at the end of 2020, which is that there are obviously some just facts of life that this doesn't apply. For instance, let's just say there's a pandemic that rages our world for almost a year, and we're all stuck at home. You are not at cause for the pandemic. I think we know that, but just a reminder, there are going to be certain facts of life that no one is at cause for. So what I really want to make sure that you will all do is to instead kind of focus on those pieces of your life that aren't going the way that you want. Things that you would like to change that aren't, or where you're finding yourself feeling stuck or having that stickiness. It can be any area of your life. And you'll probably know because you've probably made some excuses around it. All right, let's look at some examples. For instance, you have a launch for your business and it flops. My entrepreneurs will know this. If you have been through a launch, it may or may not have flopped. I will tell you, I have been through lots and lots of flopped launches, literally creating products that nobody buys. It happens. It absolutely happens. And so grateful for those opportunities because I learned a ton. So much. So it's not a bad thing if that happens in your business. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent. That's nothing to do with this. It's not a bad thing. It's a learning opportunity. It's how you grow. Well, I guess it does have something to do with this because the only way that you can gain that knowledge of how to grow, what to do differently, how to make it better, how to connect with your audience in a deeper way is to put yourself at cause of that flopped launch. Not like, well, it was a bad time of year. Nobody wants to buy this thing. My Facebook ads didn't work, or nobody opened up my email, or that darn Instagram algorithm makes it so no one sees my posts. Man, people want to blame the algorithm. The algorithm is the excuse for so many entrepreneurs. Not in the Unstuck entrepreneur. It is not. We do not go there. But it is very common that I see. So how can you be at cause in this situation? Those all were examples of being in effect. looking externally for why that launch flopped. Being at cause. Well, I did put my marketing strategy together kind of last minute. I didn't really spend enough time speaking to the benefits of the program. I actually only got a chance to send out 2 emails when really it should have probably been 5 or 6. I wasn't feeling very confident when I was talking about it because it's my first time launching this program, and I really need to work on my confidence in the program. Look at all that opportunity. There's so much to learn now. Hey, well, now I know next time I'm going to take and make sure that at least a month out, I'm starting to plan my marketing strategy. I'm going to make sure that I have 6 emails written. I'm going to make sure that I really speak to the benefits of that program. And I'm actually going to put a few people through this program for free in exchange for some feedback so that I do have more confidence in this program, so I can speak to their transformations. I can get their testimonials. Well, now you have like a whole to-do list, and you feel so much better about it, and you know what needs to improve. Now, that is not putting yourself to blame. That is putting yourself at cause, and it makes you powerful. Another example. Let's do the good old weight loss story, shall we? So you set out to lose 20 pounds, and the scale doesn't budge. If you are living from a place of being in effect, my body is broken. It just won't lose weight. My husband always makes me eat dessert with him. My job is so stressful, I need a glass of wine at the end of the day. I live in a really loud place, so I can't get enough good sleep. All being in effect. All things that are outside of you. Yes, even if you are talking about your body, like for instance, my body is broken or my body has a hard time losing weight, that is outside of you. You are blaming your body now, which, hey, does not go well. Does not go well. How can we be at cause in this scenario? When I get stressed out, I tend to emotionally eat. The first place I go is the pantry. I don't want to give up my favorite foods. I actually really like eating dessert with my husband. It's the best time for us to connect. Okay, well, now we're getting somewhere. Now we have some things that we know are really important to you, and we can move from that place. You want to keep eating dessert with your husband. You want to keep eating your favorite foods. You don't want to feel like you have to not do those things. Thanks, diet culture. Little side note. You don't have to do those things. And you know that your stress is a really big issue for you. So we can start working on that stress. You can move forward with some new stress relieving techniques or really make that something you want to heal in yourself. This is so much different. This looks so much different. It feels so much different. Next example. Let's say your relationship has lost its spark. If you are living from a place of being in effect, my partner is always tired and just wants to watch TV all night. The kids take up all of our time together. We have no more alone time. I think we've just been together so long. So really, what's the point even? Outside of yourself. All things that are outside of you. So how am I at cause of my relationship losing its spark? Well, I haven't really done anything super special for my partner in a while. I used to all the time and really have let that go. I haven't even talked to my partner about how I'm feeling about it at all, so they don't know what I'm thinking or feeling. And we do have that hour after the kids go to bed that we're not really taking advantage of right now, and I'd like to take advantage of that. Okay, here we go. So now we can talk to our partner about how we're feeling. We can try to do something special for them to get the spark back, and we can put the effort in during that hour that you have together to really ignite that spark too. So we have now ideas. We are in control. We have the power. It's not outside of ourselves. Last little example here. We're going back to the business world. You're trying to build a business and you can't gain traction. Coming from a place of effect, there's just so much to learn. I don't have the time to do it all. I feel like everything just changes all the time. Technology is so hard. Why is everything different every time I look into it? I don't have the money to invest in my business. Like, that's a really stressful thing for me. No one's signing up for my email list anyway. Probably no one even wants to work with me. Seems like a big gaping hole that we're never going to get out of. And hey, I can see quite clearly just in those statements why you're not growing your business, why you're not gaining traction, why it seems challenging. Just to even look at that mindset that you're bringing into your business when you come from a place of being in effect, from everything being an external issue instead of going into yourself and being at cause. All right, so now let's switch this up and say, how am I at cause for my business not gaining traction? Well, I'm scared to invest in my business because I'm worried I might not make it back, and I know I will, and I know this is really good for my business, but I have that fear. Learning everything has been really overwhelming for me, so I end up just shutting down my computer and doing something else entirely as soon as I get frustrated and upset when it comes to all this technology stuff. So maybe I need some help. I don't really talk about my email list, so I guess that's probably why people aren't signing up for it. Okay, now we know some things. Now we know that there's a money block. That there's a little bit of fear around investing in your business. We also know that you're trying to do it all on your own and it's become so overwhelming that you end up not doing anything at all. And it seems like maybe you have been hesitant to ask for help, but now you're ready to ask for help. And it also seems like, okay, well, maybe I should start promoting my email list, talking about my email list, creating a really lovely, amazing freebie and talking about that, and then my email list would grow. All right, cool, huh? So those are some examples. I could do this all day long for any sort of issue that you may be running into in your life. And I hope you can now see the difference too, and that you can do that. And most importantly, I hope that you now can catch yourself when you are in this place of being in effect, because you're going to have those excuses. Like, that's what's really nice about this whole scenario is that you don't have to try to figure it out of like, am I being at cause or in effect in this scenario? You're going to know because of those excuses. When you start hearing yourself say anything that sounds like an excuse, then you know you are being in effect, and you can stop yourself and simply ask that question. How am I at cause here? And then you have put yourself into the driver's seat, taken that information that you're getting, you're learning, you're growing, you're changing, you're stepping into your power in all areas of your life. And guess what happens then? Things start to change because of the work you are doing. There is no other way. So you become at cause, and then the things that you are stuck with in your life start to unstick themselves because of what you are doing to learn and grow and evolve. Okay? That's a phenomenal place to be, my friends. Let's see what we can do to get ourselves there. And that's your homework for the week, is to start really getting in tune with those excuses that you have. I know we all know the excuses we come up with. Like I said, I think sometimes they're so ingrained in us and we're so used to saying them and having those thoughts that we forget they're excuses, but they are. So now is the time to start getting more aware of the excuses you're creating around places you are stuck in your life. It could be with your business, with your body, with your health, with your love life, with your job, your career, like all the things. Find those excuses, because then you know you're living in effect, and put yourself back in the driver's seat. How am I at cause for this? Start asking that question. And just to bring it all back full circle, to my entrepreneur friends out there, if you are ready to cut those excuses, get yourself back in the driver's seat and find the business of your dreams and build it and grow it and become powerful in that role as an entrepreneur, then you are the perfect candidate for Unstuck Entrepreneur, because that's what we do. That's what we're going to do together as a small group, and you have access forever. So the 22 lovely women that will soon be your biz besties in the first round of Unstuck Entrepreneur, they are still there. They are going to be a part of the next group and the next group and the next group and the next group forever. So it is lifetime mentorship and group business coaching. That's a really not something you can find anywhere because, hey, as you grow, your business grows, you will continue to need help. You don't just stop needing help. You don't stop needing a mentor. You don't stop needing coaching and new ideas and a group to bounce your ideas off of. That doesn't ever end. So why should this? And that was my whole premise with that. So again, the waitlist is the place to be. If you want the special offer to join, you will have a very short window to do so with that special coupon code. That is on January 1st to those only on the waitlist, unstuck.shawnmynar.com. And then if you want some free business training, 90 minutes to sit with me live and get some free coaching for your business. That workshop is for you, January 4th, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to learn how to make money in your business, and not just from this practical, step-by-step process, but the mindset you need, the energy you need. And then, yes, of course, the tips that I have that I've come across on different ways to actually make money in your business. So we're not just going for the strategy, we're going for all of it in 90 minutes. And that is at shawnmynar.com/money workshop. I hope to see so many of your faces live there, and I will chat with you all next week. Oh, one more thing. Don't forget, if you want that free intuition meditation, all you have to do is write a review or screenshot your phone and tag me, share it on your story, share it on your Instagram, and tag me and let me know. And you will get that free intuition meditation delivered by yours truly. It's my favorite thing to do to tap into my intuition. So write a review for the podcast, screenshot it before you submit it. Let me know. Send it over on Instagram at Shawn Mynar. I have a bunch of people already listening to the meditation. Thank you all so much. It means so much to me and to this show. And of course, I want to gift you something back with this free meditation. All right, everybody, until next time, take care.